So welcome learners to our today's science lesson, and we want to just do a recap of what we did yesterday. That we were dealing with the methods of controlling animal or livestock parasites, and we said we have a number of them. Number one is rotational grazing. Now in rotational grazing, we said is a method of controlling parasites, because here we are looking at the methods of grazing. Number one, we have the street grazing, paddocking, and lastly we have the tethering. So animals move from one place to another. If parasites had infested that particular place after they moved, before they come back to that place again, they find they have already died. So the next one was dipping. Dipping was another way of controlling livestock parasite, and here we talked about the acaricide, which is made of the chemicals that are bought and mixed with water to form what we call an acaricide. So what is formed here is what we call the dip wash, the water that is going to wash the animals. So we talked about the stairs, and then the dip here, and then the stairs out. So the animal immerses itself inside this place, so it dips cells there. So this we say is used to control external parasites. This one controls both internal and external parasites. Then of course we talked about spraying. We said spraying is also a method of controlling livestock parasites, and here we talked about the knapsack sprayer, the hand spray machine that most of the time you have seen it being used by those people who are fumigating our towns to curb the coronavirus. So we can either use that, or we can use what we call a spray race. And a spray race is something I did not talk about. A spray race is a small housing looking like this, and this house has a door, and then on the walls, on the inside part of it, is fitted with pipes which spray as you continue opening or turning on the taps. So there is a tank here, a water tank. So the dip wash is mixed here, the chemicals are added there, on top of the house, like the one that you use at home for showers. So this one comes in here. So here you find it in there. So once you turn on the pipes, the water comes like showers. So the animal enters inside, and it's a very small one, meaning that only one animal can fit. So the animal gets in there, and then it's locked. So from sides, the dip wash will come and spray the animal on the sides. Other pipes are fitted and under the underside, so they'll be spraying the other side of the animal and from top. So that's what we call a spray race. So the last one, after spraying, talked about deworming. Deworming, we say, is another way of controlling livestock parasites, where we are talking about drenching. Drenching is a way of administering liquid drugs using what we call a drenching gun. Then we have what we call we use a bolus gun to do administration of call it dosing. We are using bolus gun to administer tablets or solid medicine. So this one is for liquid ones. This one is made for the tablet one, the solid one. So we can either do drenching or dosing using a drenching gun or using a bolus gun. So these are the methods of controlling livestock parasites that we talked about. But I want us to discuss today about methods of controlling human intestinal worms. So just like animals, human beings can also be affected by various worms. Like for example, we have what we call the thread worms. human beings are affected by threadworms. They can also be affected by hookworms. They are also affected by roundworms. And lastly, we have tapeworms also affecting human beings. Just to mention a few. Now, why are they affecting human beings? Because of the foods that we eat. Most of these worms are gotten from the food that we eat, and also depending on the environment that we are eating the food from or we are living. So we have a number of ways of controlling these human intestinal worms. Number one way is proper cooking of food. Proper cooking of food is a way of controlling human intestinal worms. We are talking about tapeworms in this case. Tapeworms will be found in meat. So for you to be able to curb this, what are you supposed to do? You cook meat thoroughly. Ensure that meat is cooked well. And for example, the pork meat. The pork meat that comes from the pigs. You are supposed to cook it thoroughly because inside there, in the meat, you can find tapeworms. Tapeworms can live under very high heat. So if you don't cook it so well, they'll still be alive in there. So you're supposed to boil it. After boiling it, you can roast it under very high heat, or you can deep fry, or even shallow fry. But ensure that the food is cooked well. Look at, for example, the milk. That's why we advise every now and then when we're using milk from the animals, let it be boiled well, because inside there you can have some diseases that can lead us having what we call arthritis and etc. Number two way of controlling the human intestinal worms is proper washing of foods that are eaten raw. Proper washing of foods that are eaten raw. There are learners who confuse and say proper cooking of foods that are eaten raw. You can't cook food and the food is to be eaten raw. So you must get these two well. Proper cooking of food and proper washing of foods that are eaten raw. What are some of the foods that we eat raw? Like, for example, talk about cabbages. Cabbages, the inner part of the cabbages, you've seen it in kachumbari, you add it there. It's raw. So we're talking about fruits, and these are vegetables. Fruits and vegetables that are eaten raw, they need to be thoroughly washed. Like, for example, if you go to the market, you're very hungry, you're just coming out from school, you buy a mango, and you just eat it like that when you have not washed. That means you have eaten a lot of dirt. Remember where these mangoes come from. The market they are bought from before they are being brought to that banner. It's full of garbage everywhere. So houseflies or they will come and land on those particular pieces of mangoes. So what will happen if you eat it without being washed? It means that you have entered in your body a lot of germs. So you end up having a stomachache. So what are you supposed to do? Wash the mangoes thoroughly before you start eating, because the marketplace is full of dirt. And so many people are coming also to buy mangoes. So you know how Africans do things. They have to touch first before they buy. So they continue pressing. So hundreds of people came and pressed that particular mango. So you can imagine the type of dirt that mango is having. So that is necessary that you wash it and wash it thoroughly. Ensure also when you are eating, you talk about your sanitation, your hygiene in that matter. Ensure that you have clean hands, so that you can be able to touch the mangoes using clean hands. The cabbages also, before you cook anything, before you eat anything that is not to be cooked, you wash it thoroughly, so that you can be able to remove the germs. Way number 3 of controlling human intestinal worms, of course, is deworming. Deworming is done both in animals and human beings. Ensure that you take deworming tablets or deworming medicine after every 3 months. to remove the worms that may have accidentally gotten into your stomach. Then the last method, of course, is what we call proper sanitation. Proper sanitation. And what is this proper sanitation you're talking about? Sanitation is generally the hygiene of your body, hygiene of the place you are living, and also hygiene of how you deposit waste, both human waste and animal waste. Like for example, if animals are going to the rivers to get their water direct from the rivers, so I'm assuming a cow has just gotten into the river because they can't drink the water while still on the banks, on the river banks. They enter inside. So once they enter inside, you remember those hooves are carrying some cow dung from the cow shed. Themselves, after taking the water, what happens? They also drop their droppings there. They also urinate in the water. You can see the damage that they cause to this water. And somebody else is waiting for that water a few meters from there to use it. Is just fetching it to go and use it for cooking. So that person has taken a lot of germs into the body. What about human waste? Most of the time you find that human waste are just laid everywhere. The urine and the feces. When it comes to rainy season like it is now, those human waste, the feces will be carried away by the water and they will be directed into the water sources. I'm assuming that this person who laid their waste everywhere, not into a pit, that they had suffered from maybe cholera. What will happen? The person who will go and drink the water that this dirty water, this waste were dropped into the river, the water from that particular river will contain those germs of cholera. So the person will take that water and start suffering from waterborne diseases. So it's very, very important that human waste is supposed to be deposited in the pit latrines so that you can control the spread of these waterborne diseases. So that's why we're talking about proper sanitation. Ensure that you have a pit latrine. And then regarding our garbage at home, after collecting the garbage, it can be burned in a safe place. In class 8, we talk about incineration. Incineration is where you burn this particular garbage into a controlled, can be a drum, controlled place, and a very high temperature, so that you kill everything. You kill the worms that are found there, and you do away the garbage. But because most of the time you don't have this, the garbage is to be deposited in the pit. You make a pit where you deposit the garbage. Later on, you realize that garbage decomposes and becomes some manure, some compost manure. You can use it maybe to plant your small spinach and some few samawiki in a kitchen garden there, and you use it as manure. So proper sanitation is very, very important as far as the controlling of intestinal worms is concerned. Our cells being clean, the environment being clean, and controlling of human waste, how we deposit our human waste and also animal waste. So these are the 4 ways of controlling human intestinal worms. If you have them right, then in the exam you don't get problems. Number 1 is proper cooking of food. You ensure that you cook food thoroughly so that if there were any germs in that food, they are killed and you're eating some safe food. Proper washing of foods that are eaten raw. I've just given examples of the vegetables and the fruits. They need to be washed thoroughly, and especially if you are at home, you can wash using some warm water. Ensure you also wash your hands with soap and clean water before you start eating those foods. And then number 3, you talked about deworming. Ensure that you get the deworming tablets or the liquid drugs for deworming 3 times. After every 3 months you get a deworming tablet. That is what we do usually in our schools. We do our deworming. There's a deworming day, and each of us gets a tablet, including the teachers. So we are doing this to ensure that we control the human intestinal worms. Then lastly, we talk about sanitation, hygiene, the proper cleaning of areas that we live in, and the places that we use in our daily living. So those are generally methods of controlling human waste, human intestinal worms. So in our next lesson, of course, learner, we are going to learn something different. we are through with animals and especially animal parasites, and so we are going to begin something we call plants. This is a very interesting chapter, plants. And in plants, we are going to deal with a few things. Number one, the interdependence between plants. Our plants depend on one another. Number two, the interdependence between plants and animals. Then number three, we are going to discuss what we call a food chain. And in this case, I also mentioned the food pyramid. And up to that end, learner will be through with that chapter. Then after that, of course, we go to another chapter we call water. We want to see what is water. Most of the time, we just know water when we are washing hands, when we are washing our clothes. But water is more than that. There are so many things that are involved in water. Like, for example, it's a rainy season. How can we be able to preserve water? How can we be able to harvest water for future use? We are going to discuss it here in this chapter. So in our next lesson tomorrow, we are going to start the chapter plants. And just to remind you, in plants, more especially here, we are going to talk about parasitic plants, saprophytic plants. We are going to know the difference. That is one area that learners get wrong. But as we finish the subtopic tomorrow, you realize that's a very easy one. You can be able to get all the questions from the interdependence between plants. So until next time, learner, we are through with our today's lesson. May God bless you. Let's continue learning at home. Let's continue making short notes and ensure that we keep safe as we sanitize. Thank you and God bless you.